Hey everyone, Tesla Tom, thanks for joining us this morning. I'm just on the M2 motorway here in Sydney, and it's got me thinking about autonomous vehicles. And I just had a thought. I wonder whether during this transition phase where we go towards autonomous vehicles, whether it's worth installing like an autonomous lane on freeways so that, you know, one, drivers with autonomous electric vehicles can safely know they can just sit in that lane and they'll be fine because all the other cars on that lane will be autonomous as well. So they'll look out for each other. And also, I guess, safe also for non-autonomous drivers to know that, okay, that lane is where the autonomous drivers are and we know to watch out for them as well. So I think that could be a step towards transitioning our vehicles towards autonomy, autonomous lanes on freeways, and maybe even autonomous areas where we've got suburbs or just mapped out areas where autonomous vehicles are allowed to exist, like a new suburb, for example, with, you know, autonomous roads where you need to have an autonomous vehicle to live in that suburb. Is that too far-fetched? I don't know, but I'm just trying to think out loud of solutions on how to transition. Some of you might say, well, why even have any regulations at all? Why not just let autonomous vehicles run free and naturally sort itself out? I think that may not happen. I think the government won't be able to help itself, and they'll want to meddle a little bit and regulate here and there. I'm just thinking of the rideshare economy as an example, or even the accommodation sharing economy like Airbnb. So, you know, Uber started out basically being free. You can pick up an Uber anywhere you like, get dropped off anywhere, but I'm starting to see more and more places where, you know, there are ride sharing locations where you can only get an Uber or a Lyft or whatever it is in this certain area. For example, some airports around the world where there are ride sharing areas, you've got to walk ages to get there. And same with Airbnb. There are a lot of countries, a lot of cities in the world now where Airbnb is heavily regulated. Whether it's you know, to allow regular hotels to compete better, or just to protect citizens or people when they book their accommodation. So I guess the realist in me is thinking that that's probably what's going to happen. I think the government will eventually regulate autonomous vehicles and self-driving vehicles where, you know, they restrict that population to a certain lane or a certain area until there's better uptake, and then maybe, hopefully one day, we'll come to a situation where we can just sit in our cars and allow the car to drive us anywhere. And that, I guess, brings us to, you know, do we lose that privatization of transport where your car is no longer yours, or at least it has to be put into a ride-share economy where after you drop your car off at work, or the car drops you off at work, and the car goes off and does a run of you know, ride sharing or whatever, you know, i.e. robo-taxi. Do you want your car to be a public vehicle? I guess that's the other question. For hygiene purposes and privacy and all those kind of things. Interesting questions. I mean, Australians in particular love their cars, right? I just can't see that, obviously, in the foreseeable future, that happening where people allow their cars to be used like that across the population. Of course, humans are very short-sighted. Who knows what's going to happen in 10, 20 years? Maybe that will become the norm. Our children will allow that to happen because everything's shared now, right? Music's shared, you know, Uber's shared. People don't really own stuff anymore. It's a subscription service. And will cars go the same way? Very interesting times ahead. And who looks after the hygiene? Who cleans these cars that are basically running around like robo-taxis on our road? Very interesting times ahead. Alright guys, well, just some food for thought this morning. Hope you enjoyed that video. I'm looking forward to all your questions and comments about autonomous vehicles and possibly ride sharing one day. And just as an aside as well, I'm going to be doing a 6-month follow-up with Joy, my wife, who's had her Model 3 now for 6 months. We're going to do a video on what it's been like living with the Model 3 for the last 6 months here in Australia and in Sydney in particular. Got a whole bunch of questions to ask Joy. If you've got any other questions you want to ask Joy, if you're looking for a Model 3 to buy and want to ask someone who's had it for 6 months now's a good time to leave a comment below as well, or send me an email, and I'll certainly get those questions incorporated for that interview with Joy. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and as always, happy charging.